Yeah, this is nice hard plastic, and you got a little flip switch here, little flip lock right here and here. It's on there fairly tight. Flip this open, and we see right here that this is what it looks like. Here's our instruction manual. I'll read the instructions, tell you how to set this thing up, and show you what it looks like when it's all set up. But right here you have the main unit itself. You got a hose. You got your part where the steam would shoot out. And then you have these various different attachments, which we'll look at as well. Interesting, it has a flashlight in it. You can see right there. So here's this little flashlight, metal flashlight. Just kind of in here, this is a little piece of plastic. This little filter guy, which probably goes in there on the other side. And we got some bubble wrap. And let's see what else we have in here. These will probably clean a grill or something to that effect. So maybe we'll try our grill. And you see a little hole there. This is metal. Here is a plastic kind of brush, hard plastic brush. So you got 2 hard plastic brushes, 2 metal brushes, a bunch of washers, and you have this little tube as well, which I would imagine is going to go on here. And you got a little tube right here. So let me come back to you in a minute once I have all this set up and explain how it all gets set up and how you use it. Okay, so the instructions aren't that great in here. So one of the things that it said to do is take this longer piece and then attach one of these guys on the end of here, and that can be done just simply by screwing it into the threading on there. So we'll show you how that's done. So you just take this and just thread it right on there and just screw it on like you'd screw anything else on, and that's on there pretty easily. And then on this side, obviously, that would screw into this unit here. So in order to do that, as you can see here, I did the same thing with this piece. I just screwed this onto the smaller piece that was on here. So I'll just take that off. You see that there's a washer there. You need to have that on there. And then I would take this and just attach this here and screw that down. And then obviously make sure that that's facing this direction when I make it tight. There you go. And so here's going to be your trigger to pull to make this work. I guess that would lock it out to prevent it from happening. And on the other side of the unit, you have this, obviously this hose connecting to the main unit. And this comes off as well and has a similar connection to here. We don't necessarily have to take it off, but you can see this comes off and goes on. On the main body here, you have the on and off switch. And then you have your dry and wet, so maximum steam and minimum steam around here. And then your electric outlet. And then my guess at the moment, but it doesn't actually show that, is that this would have to be submerged in a water source to provide water into this machine right here. But I don't have anything in the instructions here that tells me that. It simply says there, it says the first step is strictly forbidden to start it without water, and it shows that little hose. So there's no container that came with this that you would plug this into. You're just, as I would imagine, just dunk this into a bucket of water and have it in there. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so a couple of quick observations. The fact that this is the water source, but it doesn't come with a bucket or anything to connect this to. I'm just going to drop this into a bucket of water, but I think that's kind of an odd design. The other thing I'll mention is that the flashlight will go up here so you get more light aiming at what you're doing, which is kind of cool. And then I'll also note that this handle is definitely feels kind of weak, and I feel like it's possible that if you handle this, you know, a little ruggedly, you may end up in a situation where this handle breaks off. You can see it kind of moving around. Also, my concern is how it will handle around the body on this handle. So, and then over here you see all the grills here. So all the electronics are in here. And, you know, being that you got steam and water, that I don't know whether that's a concern or not, but I'll just point that out. So here I have a bucket, and I'll just put this end into the water. Okay, so I'll drop that in the water. I'm going to turn this on. Okay, so we see we have a chunk right here. We're going to see if this will come off. A reasonable job up there really quick. And then we'll come over here. Now I'm going to switch from this one to the metal and see what we get. Alright, so I'm going to use the metal piece. I also recommend getting some kind of oven mitts or gloves to keep your hands from the heat. I also used my channel locks here to lock this in place tighter so air doesn't leak around here. Off down here. I'm going to show you up close on this one here. As you can see, I knocked the flashlight off, so you might want to be careful with that. But I'll show you how it snaps pretty easily right onto there. And you can see here we haven't used that much water because there's the water still from what remains from what we filled in before. We have not filled this up again. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is my shower has had, pardon it's a little bit of a mess because one of my kids just took a shower. But as you can see right here, the tile is pretty white, but over there there's brown stains in there. And also up here, the grout is a little off-colored. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you that this is legitimately on here by trying to scrub here. And you can see that it's not really coming off. So we're going to see if this thing will take the coloring, the dark coloring out of here and make it clearer like that. Now the other thing I want to show you is that I actually have tried to use a brand new toilet brush to try to scrub this off, and that didn't work either. I've done this before, and I don't know whether this is going to work, but I'm showing it to you either way in real time. So let's give this a shot. But, maybe I'm asking too much for it to get this stuff off, but we'll give it another shot and see what we got. So it wasn't my intention to use the metal one. I thought the plastic would be, or the plastic bristle brush would be better, but I think because it didn't do exactly what I wanted. Again, I would say it cleaned up a little bit of the grout for sure. But let me see if I can use the metal one and get some of the stains off of there. Okay. Alright, so I'm not really sure whether, it seems to be better, that's for sure, but I don't know if it's because of the steam or just because of this bristle brush. So I'm going to go over in another area that I haven't done to see if just the bristle brush without spraying will do any difference.